In his intro to On Writing, Stephen King relates how he asked the novelist Amy Tan, author of The Joy Luck Club, if there was one question that she was never asked in any interviews or writers' conferences. And she answered, "No one ever asks about the language." This is unfortunate because language is what it all comes back to. Hi, I'm Luke Morris, this is Creative Writing Corner, and today's lesson is all about the language. Obviously, character, setting, plot structure, mood, tone, thematic elements, those are all important or crucial to storytelling. But if we don't have the words and the syntax to effectively communicate that story, all those other elements are going to be for naught. If our language isn't impactful, our story loses its impact. So today's exercise is all about being gorgeous. Not about being a gorgeous human being. You're already that, you weird, wonderful wordsmith, you. No, it's about being gorgeous in our language. It's about falling in love with the music of words. It's about finding your own voice. Today's exercise comes from Ursula K. Le Guin's Steering the Craft. Le Guin is one of the great sci-fi and fantasy authors of the 20th century. Her novels include The Dispossessed, The Lathe of Heaven, The Left Hand of Darkness, and the Earthsea trilogy. She's also written a good number of highly influential short stories and essays. She's one of those rare breed of authors to transcend the stigma of the genre author. The stigma that genre fiction is somehow non-literary, not worthy of literary consideration. Along with the likes of Ray Bradbury, Octavia Butler, and Neil Gaiman, she's held in high esteem by the hoity-toity upper crust literati, as well as the pop culture genre fiction loving hoi polloi. In chapter 1 of Steering the Craft, entitled The Sound of Your Writing, she begins with this. The sound of the language is where it all begins and what it all comes back to. The basic elements of language are physical, the noise words make and the rhythm of their relationships. This is just as true of written prose as it is of poetry, though the sound effects of prose are usually subtle and always irregular. This is crucial because language is, at its root, physical, as she says. We learn to recognize these sounds and the rhythms of speech and to appreciate them before we ever understand what they mean. Anyone who's raised children can confirm this. Le Guin argues that an awareness of what your own writing sounds like is an essential skill for a writer. Fortunately, it's one easy to cultivate, to relearn, reawaken. She goes on to say, a good reader has a mind's ear, an ear of the mind. Though we read most of our narratives in silence, a keen inner ear does hear them. And so, good writers train their mind's ear to listen to their own prose, to hear as they write. This is important because, as she says further on, you have to hear your writing to feel its rhythm. This all comes back to the musicality of language. It's part of what attracts us to language, to writing, to understanding writing in the first place. So the exercise Le Guin gives us is a warm-up. It's a repeatable practice that will train your mind's ear to listen to the sound of your own writing. The exercise is called Being Gorgeous. I didn't make that up, she did. Being gorgeous. Here's the exercise, you might want to jot this down. Write a paragraph to a page, 150 to 300 words, of narrative that's meant to be read aloud. Use onomatopoeia, alliteration, repetition, rhythmic effects, made-up words or names, dialects, any kind of sound effect you like, but not rhyme or meter, because we're writing prose, not poetry, so you don't want to accidentally turn it into poetry. You might consider this poetic prose. But all the sound devices that you know, all the various types of ways of making language sing, making it musical. And if you don't know many, you can check out another video I did a while back on rhetorical devices, where I kind of cover some of the basics of some of these sound and syntactical devices, devices of repetition, devices of sound effects and things like that, that speakers, writers often use to create an effect. I'll be doing more work on this later on, but hopefully you already have a little bit of an understanding of the sound of language and can play around with it a bit. So while you're doing this exercise, make sure you relax into your writing while you do it. There's no right or wrong way to do it, and nobody needs to see or hear your finished work here, except for you. To get the full impact of the exercise, you at least need to read your work out loud after you've done it. You need to read it out loud, as Guin says, with vigor. So find a time and place to be alone where no one else can hear you, and don't just whisper it to yourself. Read it out loud with full emphasis, full enunciation of the words, proper pitch and tone and all that, and really hear the sound of the language as it's coming through. But Guin says, when you're doing the exercise itself, whatever you do, have fun, cut loose, play around with word sounds or rhythms. Notice, as I said, there is no right way to do this. There's no right or wrong answer to it. So let yourself have fun. Not only will this open up your ear to the musical quality of your own writing, it will also help you find ways to improve it, to make it sound even stronger and livelier. Now, after you've done the exercise, including reading it out loud, Guin suggests you ask yourself some questions and answer them for yourself. Did concentrating on the sound of the writing release or enable anything unusual or surprising, a voice you haven't often used? Did you enjoy the exercise, or was it a strain? Can you say why? Remember, this is a repeatable exercise. You don't just do it once and forget about it any more than you lift a weight one time and hope that you've gained 10 pounds of muscle. The sound of your writing, your authorial voice, is something you train and develop your entire writing career. I myself do this writing exercise regularly whenever I feel stuck in a rut or I just need to wake my writing muscles up. It's also one of the first exercises that I have my new creative writing students do at the beginning of every school year. It's that important. It kind of sets the tone, opens up their minds, opens up their writer's ear for the whole year. And we come back to the exercise intermittently as the year goes on. So give it a go and see what you come up with. You might surprise yourself. And if you are feeling bold enough to share your work when you're done, and remember, you don't have to. Don't let this get in the way if you're doing the exercise. But if you are feeling bold enough after you've done, you want to share it, feel free to post it in the comments below. I would love to see what you come up with and read some samples out loud to hear their rhythm and musical quality in a future episode. And I promise I'll be nice about it. This is not a critical response that I'm going to give you. This is not about tearing you down, it's about building you up. And of course, I'll also share some of my own results from this exercise, because I do it, again, quite often. So I will put my money where my mouth is, I will walk my talk, whatever other cliches you want to say, and I will show you how I do it. But I don't do it the right way. As I said, there is no right way. Your right way is what works for you. Do it, learn from it, continue to do it, and improve on it. Thank you guys for watching. Big thank you, big air hug to those of you who have already subscribed to the channel. I can't tell you how much it means to me. We're growing slowly but steadily growing. We're reaching more writers, and it's all thanks to you guys watching and liking and commenting on and subscribing to the channel and sharing the videos. I would love to get these videos out to more people, out to more creative writing teachers possibly, to share with their classes, because I think just this information is just so valuable. This is such a great exercise to do. So really let yourself go and have fun with it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Please like the video and hit that little bell button down there to make sure you get notified every time a new video posts so you don't miss a lesson or exercise. Until next time, my friends, good luck and good writing. Peace.